Hello, and it is time. Welcome one, welcome all, boys, girls, men, women, and anyone in between. For we have finally got our hands on Stubbs the Zombie in Rebel Without a Pulse. Actually, I got my hands on this 2 weeks ago when it launched. I've just been so busy I haven't had time to play it more than like an hour, but finally I have the time now. So, before we dive right in, a couple things I want to point out. One, I don't know how YouTube's going to handle the copyright in this game. Obviously, there's a lot of music which was probably licensed, so hopefully they'll just monetize my videos for themselves and still let them be visible. If not, I don't know what I'll do then. I mean, I suppose I could try to edit the sound out, but or just re-record it again without music. Is that even an option? There is a music company, so that is an option. I'd rather not re-record it because this is already my third time recording because my video capture OBS keeps like fluking out for some reason. But yeah, Stubbs is back. It's remastered in 4K HD, and they even have a two-player co-op mode now where you can play as Stubbs' friend, Grubs the Zombie. But fortunately, I don't have any friends to play with, so we will be doing single player for the discriminating zombie who wants a more challenging opponent.
Dateline, Pennsylvania, where one city has entered the 21st century 50 years ahead of schedule. Welcome to Punchbowl, a city built for the space age. Here in Punchbowl, experimental science and state-of-the-art technology create a futuristic paradise the likes of which have never been seen. This is a city unlike any other, free of crime, pollution, poverty, and other urban blights. Menial labor is a thing of the past, thanks to all the robots who keep Punchbowl running like clockwork. People can't stop talking about it, and why should they? Punchbowl is a model of good old American ingenuity, much of it developed by famed scientist Dr. Herman Y., now a naturalized American citizen working for the good guys. But who's funding this fantastic foray into futurism? Why, none other than billionaire playboy industrialist Andrew Munday. America's favorite rags-to-riches story is the visionary who's calling the shots in this town. At the grand opening ceremony this morning, the world's richest man had this to say.
Here in Punchbowl, for the first time in human history, life is what it was meant to be, free of all unpleasantness. Why, someday the entire world will be like Punchbowl, but for now, it stands alone, a beacon of purity and human potential in a world of social upheaval and moral turpitude.
Bold words from a bold man. But perhaps the only thing more unlikely than this orphan's rise to fame and fortune is the city he's built, where everyone is invited to drink their fill of the future, and no one has a care in the world.
Oh my goodness!
Get your hands off my weenie!
Good morning. Is everything okay?
He stole my hot dog!
Well, that wasn't very nice. Stealing isn't allowed in Punchbowl. You'll have to give it back.
Oh.
If you'd like something to eat, I can show you one of Punchbowl's many fine dining establishments.
Yeah, go eat something else, jerk. Go on, get out of here! He stole my hot dog!
There we go. Wonder where that car horn came from, because there's no running cars around here. And yes, this is the painfully slow, painfully forced tutorial. Hooray. But one thing that always escaped my, kind of slipped past me as a kid was that line, Punchbowl is an example of American ingenuity, most of it developed by Nazi scientists. More like Nazi ingenuity and American money, but in any case.
Oh, my goodness! Oh, my! Looks like he's having some kind of brain seizure. We'd better find some way of relieving the pressure in his head.
Gotta love the trope of Nazi scientists always doing things.
Why me?
Oh, I think wow, you sure calmed him down. He's not even twitching anymore. Oh, silly me. I haven't even introduced myself. I'm a guide bot, here to provide any information you might need during your stay in our fair city. Would you like the full tour? Oh, come on. I can tell by the look on your face. You're gonna love Punchbowl. Follow me. We've got so much to see.
They're just trying to do a couple.
I've got a whole data tape filled with 640 kilobytes of fun facts about Punchbowl. It'll take us a few hours to get through the whole thing. Why don't we just walk around
and she's gone.
Get your bearings?
Alright, hold off on those keel bits there. We got some exploring to do. And there certainly is plenty. She seemed to have a little weird walk thing going on. Like her animation was glitched out or something, but it's fine. I love the jank in these old games. We can see the monorail that stops. Isn't there another stop? Oh no, it must stop there, go through there, come back. And you'll notice the as we kill more people or eat more people, you'll notice that the zombie AI has been turned off. So that way, oh, there is another one here. So that way they can't interfere with the tutorial by eating people we're supposed to be eating for ourselves. Okay, so these are just solid objects. Most of the cars are, actually. I think that police cruiser is the only one that actually has vehicle physics. But we're gonna walk around, taking the scenery, and certainly some of the robots have some pretty great dialogue. Yeah, okay, so that just runs back and forth, probably.
My brain!
There we go, the aerial zombie brain-eating dive. Whee! Oh.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
I love all the dialogue for brain-eating.
Let's just see how far you get without my help.
Now, he does have lines, but he's not saying them now. But Milkbot here is quite the comedian. I actually mistook him as a police bot as first, because that milkman cap, you know, that kind of peak cap, looks so much like, you know, a police cap. I kind of see what they're going for with this animation. I think it's definitely the left arm that seems to, like, ruin it.
Ow, 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 ow,
Why me?
I mean, you did walk into me, buddy, so I think that's on you. Linglings. The Bohemian Grove. Mitch's hover cars. Savings and loan. All sorts of interesting little store names here. Now, you may have noticed I kind of avoided that purple hippo at the beginning. That is because over by the... There it is. Oh, over by the fountain. That's because there's actually, I actually just found that for the first time, even though this is my third time trying to record this. But those little purple hippos are basically designer commentary, and they're scattered throughout the levels. I probably won't find all of them, but I will try, because they are pretty insightful and funny.
I'm Alex Seropian, project director on Stubbs.
I am Matt Sell, writer for Stubbs.
Let's talk about where the idea for the game came from.
Well, we were all trying to come up with game ideas, and no one had any good ones. Mine were the worst of all. And I remember walking around one day, my house just being sort of despondent that I hadn't come up with anything good, and I was trying to come up with a good action idea, and I thought, oh, where does action in games come from? You know, people running around, chaos in the streets, cats and dogs lying together, the dead crawling out of their graves. Hey! And so yeah, it seemed pretty obvious that it was about time for a game where you could play a dead guy and have him eat a bunch of brains. And so that's, in short, where the idea came from.
The Mystic Sandwich Stop. the Valair Hotel. And I think that's it for... Wait, we got one more here. Sporting Woody's Golf Emporium. But yeah, they're kind of funny things. 1915, 10 out of 50, bitch. I think that's what that's supposed to say. So now let's get this one.
So we're sitting around with probably a few dozen like game ideas written up on one page apiece, and yeah, so we started talking about what if you were the zombie.
Yeah, we actually had a vote. I remember we had a big meeting and there was a vote, and this was the only idea that everybody seemed to vote for.
Well, it was like, top 5. Everybody had their top 5.
Right. Well, we picked 3, and this was the one that I think
Was in common.
Yeah, it was one thing that seemed to keep popping up. There are a few other strong contenders too.
Yeah, it just barely beat out that game idea, which was all stick figures.
Just barely.
And thank God it did. Alright, I don't think their dialogue...
Whenever you're ready, we'll continue.
How are these people losing their legs? Because I certainly did not take any of them. But as you can see, the zombies can survive their legs being removed. So, alright.
You get around pretty well for someone with a gaping hole in his stomach. If you like, we can visit Punchbowl General Hospital and have that looked at. Oh, but there's so much to see first. Come along.
I like how all the robots seem to have a hose between their legs. Even like this more feminine bot here.
There seems to be some kind of commotion down the street. Never a dull moment in Punchbowl. Let's go have a look.
Let's not. Now that dialogue's...
Full of yummy calcium.
There he is. Now the milk bot's talking. Calcium. He has some great lines. Unfortunately, they're Tobaccorama. Unfortunately, they're kind of randomized, so...
I've got bottles, or you can take it straight from the nipple.
Alright, so he got the good one right away. You notice how he does have the crotch hose, through which he presumably pumps milk, and little tank thing in the back.
You ought to drink some milk. It'll keep your bones from collapsing.
Oh, we 1-on-1 bone collapse syndrome.
Funny, I don't see any punch bots fleeing.
In fact, wasn't that like the name of the disease the guy had in that one episode of Futurama where he was like some sort of like stock investor that froze himself in the 80s? A bonitis, that's what it was.
Hello, citizen. Milkbot here. Feeling thirsty?
I am feeling thirsty. Thirsty for blood.
Nothing says health like milk sucked right out of cows by giant machines.
Damn straight.
I've got flavored milk too. Chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, all the classics.
I wish you could take that bottle of milk and just like chuck it at someone.
Milk is full of yummy calcium. Mmm. Calcium.
I also wish they had an interact prompt so I could...
Hello, citizen. Milkbot here. Feeling thirsty?
So I didn't have to do this silly dance to make them talk every time. With varying degrees of success, as you can see.
I've got bottles, or you can take it straight from the nipple.
I do not want to take it straight from his nipple. I'm just going to say that right now. Alright, I need you to move Mr.
Who's up
Broken
for
Ass.
some pure, milky goodness?
Although milk, and obviously in real life, milk
Step
is
right up
pretty
and
good.
try some cow juice.
Mmm, delicious cow juice.
You ought to drink some milk. It'll keep your bones from collapsing.
So that seems to be a decent sampling of his lines. I'll try to keep it not too long. These bots are also interactable to a varying degree. We have a mail bot and phone bot. Mailbot. Mailbot also has a hose, a crotch hose. Come on.
I can dispense stamps if you need them.
She talks too. Come on, don't be shy.
Tell your friends about Punchbowl. Use me to call them up.
Don't be shy now. These guys seem to be even
Everyone likes getting mail. Send some to your friends.
less talkative than Milkbot. But the robots do provide a
Good
lot.
morning, officers.
Be quiet, Guidebot. All right, buddy, you're coming with us.
But officer, we just started the tour.
The tour's over. We don't want a sick bum in an ugly tie walking around on opening day stinking up the place.
Nor do we actually want to touch that guy. Ugh.
Exactly. So we're just gonna stand here nice and quiet, and you are gonna get in the back of the squad car, and we'll all be happy.
Well, I won't be happy.
We're waiting. Tap, tap, tap.
I guess you don't have any choice.
I'm trusting you to do the right thing.
Unfortunately,
here,
they
buddy.
do not react. Their AI gets disabled essentially, and they're immune to anything
We're still waiting.
but you. And obviously they have all
We
the
can
other.
wait here all day if we need to.
Oh, I bet. And obviously they disabled the AI of the other zombies, so that way
You
they
better
would
get a
eat
move on
them
before we get testy.
before I could.
Got any loved
I'm
ones you left
trusting
at
you to
home?
do the
Send them
right
a postcard.
thing here, buddy.
Rub their noses in it.
Yo, we're still waiting.
Have you called your mother lately? You should.
We can wait here all day if we need to.
Yeah, I didn't want to trigger them because
If you
don't
want to
have all day,
contact
pal.
anyone
Get in
without
the
having
car.
to see them or hear their voice, hey, I'm here for you, pal.
I'm trusting you to do the right
because obviously the
thing
cops
here,
just
buddy.
talk incessantly.
Do you,
You better
like
get
to
a
talk?
move on before
you
we
can
get
talk
tested.
to me. I'm a phone bot.
We can wait here all day if we need
All day.
If
Also, I
you
love.
need to mail anything,
We don't have all
just
day,
drop it in
pal.
my
Get
slot.
in the car.
Uh,
to. I'm trusting you to do the right thing here, buddy.
Let's make a telephone call. It'll be fun.
You better get a move on before we get testy.
I love how a cigarette never burns down and
Would you like to make a call?
Huh.
never
I
has
don't
to.
see anyone in the back of the car yet.
Never has to take it out of his mouth even when he's eating brains.
Hello, human. I'm a
Yo.
mailbot.
We're still waiting.
But yeah, also, if you haven't noticed by now, robots
I'm
can't tell the
trusting
difference
you to do the right
between
thing here,
zombies
buddy.
and humans.
Do you like to talk? You can talk to me.
Hey,
I'm a phone
we don't
bot.
have all day, pal.
Oh, we have
Get
a
in
whole
the car.
Balchinian thing going on there, kind of. But,
Huh.
yeah, so that's where a
Tell
lot
I
of
your
don't
the
see
friends
humor
about
anyone in the
Punchbowl.
back of the
He was
car
supposed to
yet.
call them
in
up.
the game comes from.
You better get a move on
And like I
before we
mentioned,
get testy.
this vehicle is the only one in the level that has vehicle physics, so
We
you
can wait
can
here
kick it
all
and
day
move it
if we
around.
need to.
And this game is actually built on the Halo engine because a lot of Asper's employees at the time were from Bungie.
We're
So
still
they
waiting.
use their connections to get access to the Halo CE engine
I'm
to make
trusting
this.
you to do the right
And you can kind of
thing
see that
here,
with the vehicle
buddy.
physics here. And obviously how they go
we don't have
flying
all
on
day, pal. Get in
the
the car.
smallest vehicle impact because, as you know, Halo 1 was
Huh.
notorious
I
for,
don't
oh,
see
did you
anyone
touch a
in the back
vehicle?
of the
You're
car
dead now. So, but I'm sick of
You
listening to
better
these
get a
guys,
move on
so
before we get tested.
Got a wife and kids.
I just love how all the
Hey!
gore flies out too. It's just so over the
Please,
top.
what the? Hey! You killed him.
Freeze!
Don't move! You're surrounded!
What is it? Oh, I see. You've got gas. I'll just head over here for a minute while you, relieve the pressure.
All right, buddy, you're going
Hey,
downtown.
hands where I can see him.
So his aim is definitely off. His aim is okay, I guess. He's aiming a little in front of me, I think. I guess I know how to fart. And last time I did this recording, he was actually aiming at her, so I don't know what happened with him. But now let us continue with this adult game made by adults for mature audiences. And they turned on the zombie AI, as you can see, because they are now all running this way.
Woo! Have you thought about changing your diet? You really should.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll never get anywhere unless you push those fellas out of the way. Walk up behind one of them. Now give him a gentle... Wonderful! Now we can continue the tour.
Nope. Can't touch this. Okay. Just kind of gave
your
up.
new friends over? First, stand perfectly still and transfix them with your steely gaze. Now purse those lips and whistle.
So that's actually some differences between this remaster and the original game. One, like for example, walking around and sprinting, there wasn't a sprint key in the first game. Instead, you would have to walk in a direction in a straight line, and after about 5 to 10 seconds, then Stubbs would break into a run. But it wasn't something you could toggle on and off at will. As we can see, these guys are already following us. But likewise, when you had to, like with this demo where to get them to follow you, you would look at them. They would all kind of do their thing, but eventually they would all turn around and look at you after about 5 to 10 seconds of looking in their direction. Then you would hit E to whistle to them. It was very context sensitive. So, but now we have a whole new hotkey for that. You don't even really have to wait for them to look at you.
Right over.
You could just any zombies in your field of view will respond. I've found. Welcome to the future.
Now, we still have a lot to see, and I don't want you collapsing of exhaustion before the tour ends. So if you feel tired or winded or in agonizing pain because someone just ran up and slugged you for no reason, then feel free to take a few seconds to relax and recuperate. You'll feel much better after a few deep breaths. All right? Excellent. I'll be over by the gate when you're ready to tour the green.
Why did they say his tie's ugly? It's just a plain red tie. I mean, there's probably... Okay, he's got a plain black tie, I guess. But... These sound effects, these lights, the architecture. This game is great. Interesting that arch. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but that archway kind of looks like the Omega symbol. But no, be safe, have fun, eat brains. Okay, she's disabled for now. Eventually, she can give you like a little tour of the area. I'm not gonna go overboard here, but what? Since when? Oh, interesting. Wait.
Everyone always asks if they can meet Mr. Monday. Well, he prefers to stay in his office working on the next big thing, but his charming and elegant mother Maggie will be available for autographs and photos.
So they have to use invisible walls here for no reason, because you can just run around them. But this is basically what you see in the main menu screen in the flyby. There's the river behind the city hall with a little boat and all that. Nice wide area, kind of a big area actually for Stubbs.
A few big design challenges that we started trying to tackle at the beginning. One was creating the world, this sort of retro-futuristic, you know, engineered city of the 50s. And our strategy there was to put in lots of robots and hovering cars and shiny stuff. Things that looked like it came out of a World's Fair.
And we also tried, I mean, I remember looking up, trying to research stores and stuff from the 50s, trying to get a decent feel for what cities were actually like then and what someone in that era would want when they built a city of the future.
Yeah, there was this great artist, his name was Raidbaugh, who drew all these, he was doing like this crazy art back in the 50s and 60s, and it was, he had this whole series under the heading of The Future We Were Promised, which was sort of inspirational for like our monorail and you know, so other elements of the city. We got a lot of inspiration out of looking at architecture that was built for the World's Fairs too.
You would be surprised at how much research we did for a game about a dead guy who runs around eating brains.
Yeah, we got all these cool books that were had all these ads that were done in the 50s. Man, there was some funny shit in there, like this cigarette ad. What was that one?
The baby with the look on its face. The baby's just done something horribly wrong, and he's looking up at mom with the big puppy dog eyes, and he says, "Yeah, before you strike me, Mom, strike up a lucky strike," or something like that. It was something really awful. Come on, Mom, have a cig. Yeah. Chill out.
It's better than abusing me.
Sorry for playing ball in the house.
Yeah, that was funny. And then I remember we bought this stack of like Life magazines and Time magazines from the 50s, and when they showed up, they were like completely covered with mold, so we had to stick them in the other room.
We had to stick them on the other side of the office in an opened window.
Yeah, whatever happened to those?
I think they fell out.
That's actually a good point. You don't really think that there needs to be a lot of research to make a retro-futuristic 50s setting. I mean, other than watching maybe a movie from the 50s, you know. Certainly, you know, it's like you just see, okay, kind of the bubbly architecture. You see they got a satellite dish or ray gun dish or whatever they're pretending it is today on top of City Hall. Obviously, the curvy, floaty cars and stuff.
The hover engine is another Monday, reaching speeds of up to 75.
For all you trivia buffs out there, my direction to Amy Warren, the actress who played Guidebot, was Carol Channing on meth. I think she did an excellent job.
Nailed that one.
I don't know who Carol Channing is, otherwise I'm sure that would be hilarious to me, but...
What a lovely day.
Here we can get some facts about the city from Guidebot here, maybe?
You'll definitely want to visit the Fertile Crescent, Punchbowl's very own greenhouse. It's a treasure trove of beautiful flowers and the source for all Punchbowl's edible produce.
And probably has something to do with me being reanimated, maybe.
What's your interest? Sports? Shopping? Fine dining? Punchbowl has it all.
Not the location itself, but I'm sure the whatever fertilizer or something they developed.
This is one of the many scenic streets in downtown Punchbowl. Great for shopping or strolling. Punchbowl is a haven for the small businessman.
Yes, the small businessman and his giant towers.
Throw away your travel guide and let a guidebot show you around.
I like the little Guinan hat she has going
can
on.
I interest you in a tour? Other cities build with wood or stone, but in Punchbowl, every building is constructed from mundanium, a patented material developed in Monday Industries labs.
Mundanium. I love the double pun there. Now, she was saying something about hover cars when we ran in this direction. You could definitely notice when we're at the edge of what the game considers her being in audio range. Like, you could hear with the camera like this. But with it swung around like that, you couldn't hear.
Punchbowl's energy-efficient public transportation system.
But yeah, I always love the little robot quips.
Hello there. I'm a guidebot. So pleased to make your acquaintance.
Alright, we may as well continue on. We can see our poor zombie friend has fallen here, and unlike other zombies, these guys can survive getting their heads cut off.
Another Monday Industries innovation, reaching speeds of up to 75 miles per hour. The ground clearance also makes roadkill a thing of the past, except for deer and Irish wolfhounds.
Irish wolfhounds, that's very specific. But that's her little blurb about it. See, these barriers don't have invisible barriers next to them. Hey, little fountain. Unfortunately, we can't read that much destruction yet. And officers magically spawn in front of City Hall. Yes, 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 yes.
I'll show you
Oops, hit him too many times.
I'll show you one. Stop eating me.
Stop eating my brains.
Sit down.
Gotta charge our fart back up, which you can see we do by eating brains. It also gives us a little bit of immediate health gain that we don't have to wait for regeneration. I don't know if that'll count for... There we go. Let's get them all gathered here. As we'll need meat shields for the next operation. And here's City Hall, which is also big and opulent. And we unfortunately can't get in right now. But yeah, this is a really big map for... Considering the path they want you to take, which is, okay, kill the people around the podium. Kill the people around the fountain. Is that another hippo? I didn't find that one last time. I swear they're spawning these just to screw with me. Or maybe it's based on, some of them might be based on finding an earlier one first. Now I gotta check the other side.
One of the cool ideas, what we had at the beginning, which stuck, was the idea that it takes place over the course of just one day.
Yes. Yeah, starts in the morning, ends at night.
And it's kind of cool how it's all cyclic, where you start right here in front of the main drag downtown Punchbowl, and it ends right here.
That's true. Yeah, it was almost planned that way.
Yeah, there's lots of bookends like that. I wonder how many people will actually discover them.
I wonder if there's a prize for people to discover. Nah, probably not.
Well, people could just feel good about themselves for doing it.
Uh-oh, we might be in trouble. Oh, there we go. Okay. I just wanted to be careful, because one, if you die, it doesn't... I don't think it respawns the commentary bubbles. Two, related to the dying... Oh, that's a very unimpressive little lump of land. But unrelated to the dying, you can... As you can see, we could just go on the boat, which I kind of like that freedom. I guess they didn't think players would run around back here, so they didn't put, you know, collision geometry or whatever back here to keep you from wandering in. But if you go in the water, it is an instant death. Let's see if we can snake around this building, because now I want to check. The last 3 times I did this, or 2 times, I forget how many times it's been now trying to fight with this, I love how weird this spawn zone is, where they spawn as we move away. Oh, there's the third guy. I was going to say, where's the third guy? But yeah, the last couple of times I did this, there were only the first 2 bubbles I picked up. I never saw the third one. And likewise, I did a lap around the that fountain in my first try, but not on the other tries, because there wasn't anything over there, so... I'm getting paranoid now about missing these things. I know I'm going to miss some, but I find it interesting that they say there's some sort of prize or achievement or... See, there he is. There's another one. Uh-oh. It's kind of close to the station, though, so hopefully it doesn't teleport us. Because that is very close to the station teleport zone. We also got these guys to deal with. We'll see if we can get our zombie horde.
I'm gonna shoot you.
But yeah, that was another idea we had sort of early on, which was civilians as power-ups. So all the civilians you can eat in one bite.
And they're not just power-ups. They go from... They're the only power-up that keeps on giving. Because you eat their brain and they turn into your pal. That was the other... There were a few big ideas for Stubbs that were present right from the very start. One of them was the idea of conversion, that your goal would ultimately be to subjugate and conquer this city by converting as many of its citizens into zombies as you could. And the other big idea, I think, was possession, which is sort of similar in that you would be able to use other people's abilities by possessing them somehow to compensate for one of Stubbs' deficiencies, like he can't get into a certain area, or he doesn't have a bazooka, or whatever it is.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. You know, I remember recently going back and looking at that one pager we had almost 2 years ago, and a lot of the design ideas that were in there stuck.
Alright, I just didn't want to... Because there's a teleport zone that sometimes takes me out while I'm fighting the cops, so... And he's out of here. Yes, that's the guy without a head talking, by the way. But... he does have floating teeth. Oh, I love it. I love this game. Shut up, seagulls. That are invisible. Oh, I love it. But I suppose that'll be it for today. So, entering the monorail will bring us to the next zone. So, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for next time. Stay safe out there. And I'll see you next time in the next zone. Ooh. Get out of here.
Need to make a quick getaway? The Punchbowl monorail is the best way to get around the city.
This is the chief! What the hell is going on out there? You would not believe the calls we're getting at the station! Help me! Help me! Something's trying to eat my brain! Sounds like a sick dog or something. You boys better lock things down pronto! Mr. Monday wants everything perfect today! Masters, out!
Anyone else out of bullets? Yep.